I think they needed me at 10 today, so I thought I'd,
Thank you, gentlemen, for this morning. Didn't manage to say hello earlier.
Hello and good morning all to another game here in the Schools Championship here in a somewhat overcast and a little bit wet Northampton, but something that definitely won't dampen the spirits is a massive game between these ever-growing names in the schools rugby game. We've got NSB Northampton up against an old classic name, Whitgift, in this Pool B clash, the winner essentially taking all to top the group. It should be a massive occasion. My name is Ollie Johnson. I'm here to guide you through the process of what should be a brilliant game of rugby. If you do have any shout outs along the way, then you can find me on Instagram at OJ Rugby, all one word, and I'll be sure to shout you out along the process. But regardless of all of that, we are underway. It's Northampton in their red and blue hoops, kicking off from left to right against the blue and white of Whitgift. And it's a loose start from Whitgift to start us off here today. And Northampton showing some early physicality, looking awfully organised in defence and applying some pressure to Whitgift, who aren't afraid to play with the ball in their own half, but finally finding the boot and a good exit with it. But we haven't found touch, so we play on. Fly half playing into midfield. Oh, bounce pass does not go to hand. And Whitgift have their first chance a little bit further up the field. And it's a line break, and we're all the way through. Gives the ball to the outside, picks it up with one hand, and has he slid it over? Has he got it down? He has. What a fast start out of nowhere. What looked like an awfully composed start for Northampton turned to be a bit of chaos in the backfield, resulting in a bounce pass, a loose pickup, but Whitgift was sharp to it, pouncing on the loose ball and executing, moving up past the 50. That might be the fastest score we've seen so far this year in the Schools Championship. And they were awake to it. 5 points are good. Make that 7. And Northampton will be scratching their heads after that one, how they've come out the blocks looking pretty sharp, but unable to really capitalise on what was an early bit of field positioning. But we're only 2 minutes into this one. It may be 7-0, but Northampton have a long way ahead of them to make their way back into this one. High restart, trying to win this back, get their first chance of possession, and that they do. Early give to the outside. Carrying into midfield. Good carry through a couple tacklers. Slightly loose passing, perhaps reflecting the conditions here today. Almost picked off by a Whitgift player, but will go back for a knock-on. Was he in a realistic position to catch that pass? Referee says yes. So it is only a knock-on. But it was a tempting pass that you couldn't quite help but stick your hand out to intercept. So I don't blame him for going for it. But Northampton, 7 points down in this one, have their first chance of the game to sort of layer some attack themselves. Playing to midfield, off 12, decides to stick his head down and carry almost through an ankle tackle from the Whitgift fly half. Long pass, just picked up. All back three players finding themselves on the left edge. Got to make their way around here as the forwards find some shape. Lacking a little bit of momentum off that early carry, just stuttered on the pass. Number 12 getting through a bit of work here. Early start for him. Bit of space on the left edge if they can move the ball there. And that they do, straight through the middle. Brilliant bit of shape. Or just forcing the pass. Bit of eagerness, perhaps, is what resulted in them conceding early on. And that same eagerness forced an error, which they then double down on now. And it's a penalty to Whitgift. We haven't seen a lot of Whitgift so far in this game. They've capitalised on a couple of Northampton errors. So it's not to write them out of this, but Northampton do look good. I know we're only 4 minutes in, but their shape in defence, the way they're lining up is very well organised. But their shape in attack is clearly quite devastating. If they could just hold on to that pass, they might have caused Whitgift some trouble. But it doesn't matter if you can't hold on to the ball. So now it's Whitgift's turn to launch their own attack, their first real opportunity of this game. And it looks like a slightly wet one there. We see the ball boy out there trying to dry the balls off. First set piece for Whitgift. And they go to the catch and drive. And drive they do as they march Northampton back. Throwing a few more numbers in there than them. Trying to sort the body position out just to force them back a little bit. There we go. Whitgift, time to use it. And they just go to the big inside centre who gets them on the front foot. Chaotic breakdown. Snap back to the short side. 2-on-1 here on the edge. Bit of space for the winger if he can hold on. Unfortunately, he can't. And it's a knock-on. A bit of a scrappy start, ball in hand for Whitgift. It is a little bit wet on the foot here in Northampton today. To the middle. But the referee will call them back. He wasn't quite ready for it. Who is ready, though, is a lot of people on the sidelines. Great to see. Good turnout on a Saturday morning. Early kickoff here, but spirits aren't dampened by the weather. Fly-off gets the ball away. Oh, good bump off, good carry. Puts them on the front foot. Long pass into midfield. Just managing to scrap the ball to the outside, but flirting with that touchline. And going all the way. Over the boundary, and Whitgift win back possession. We mentioned Northampton throwing together a few good shapes in their first attack, but both teams struggling to get past two phases. What can Whitgift do from this set piece? Not a lot, as it's stolen at the front by Northampton, and they now shift the point of contact. Brilliant hands. Oh, until I mentioned them as that ball goes to the deck, but picked up and cleaned up by the fullback. Pass above the head, but well taken and well finished. Good breakdown clear out from Northampton, getting rid of any potential threats before they become one. Good kick in behind, ball bounces, but picked up well by the fly half. Looks to carry, throws a loose pass to the outside. Swept up. Oh, brilliant offload at the back door, keeping the ball alive in that short space, but forcing the pass slightly. And Northampton have another chance here inside the Whitgift half. Oh, good carry, brilliant offload, but not quite held. Both teams showing slight too much eagerness. It must have been an offside from the knock-on, as it looks like we're going to a penalty to Whitgift. But yeah, you can sense whether it's nervousness or eagerness from both sets of teams here as they struggle to show the composure necessary to go through phases to break a team down. But, you know, you applaud the excitement to move the ball around. They're showing real intention to really separate defenders and find their way through spaces. But sometimes the pass needs to be held and a breakdown needs to be ensued to build up that pressure. We find ourselves back at another set piece, another line out. Northampton ready to go.
What's the shift? What's the shift? What's the shift?
Freddie Overend to throw this one in. Oh, great challenge on a one-man lift from Northampton. That's a feat of athleticism to throw someone up that quick to challenge the ball. But Whitgift just managed to hold on to the possession, but I think might be ruining that after a good tackle from two Northampton players. Shifting the point of contact to the outside, find their way back to the front lifting pod, who's held his ground on the wide channel. You can understand why, because he just ran straight through the Northampton winger. Got a bit of front foot ball here. What do they do with it? Good carry. Breakdown's clean, ball away. Ooh, bit of space on the inside, but well managed by the inside coverage of Northampton. As I mentioned earlier in the game, you could see the structure and everyone understanding their individual role. One thing you'll commonly see, not only at schoolboy level, but all the way through to international rugby, is defenders getting lazy on the inside. So once the ball is past you in defence, so say it's passed from 9 to 10 to 12, those defenders who are past the ball have to stay switched on, have to stay alive on the inside, because when the ball gets forced back in from a high outside press, you're the one to make the tackle, and that's what Northampton did there. And they've got their own opportunity here, straight through the middle. Number 13 is trying to link up, goes himself. Smart decision to hold on that time, but they must resource this breakdown. That they do, and the forwards come flooding on straight through the Whitgift defence. Brilliant work to keep the ball alive. Oh, but they can't quite hold on to the final pass that would see them over the whitewash. You can see it from Northampton. They have the ability to cut Whitgift apart, but they can't quite hold on to that final blow, and they'll be ruining that error. We've seen some teams so far this season in the Schools Championship park themselves on a long-term stay in the opposition 22, but be unable to convert on the scoreboard. And at the end of the game, you don't look at the possession stats first, you always look at the final score. And if they don't convert these scores, then it's going to be a long afternoon for them. But we're still early into this one, still plenty of time to go. Just got to try and see him hold on to the ball a little better. Exit from Whitgift. This time finds touch just outside their own 22. Gives Northampton an opportunity to strike again. We've seen how lethal they can be from set piece. Looks like they've thrown a lot of players into midfield, gone to a 5-man catch and drive. So only a few forwards in there. And they're making slow progress. One man joins in at the back. Some big lads for Northampton up front. But they decide to go to the smaller fellas in the back line. Shoulder ball pass, brilliant deception as they carve through the middle. Find themselves in a prime position here to find their way over. Can they find the space? They sure can. What a try in the corner. An air of frustration from the Northampton winger as he clips a little bit of contact on the way through. That was a great try. The deception of that double stacked unders and overs. You see one player on the outside running an inward line towards the fly half, and typically you'd see just one attacker sliding underneath that in what we call an unders and overs. But on this occasion, that single player comes out the back, draws out the defense to try and make a read on him, and a second player, their winger, comes hidden through the middle between the spacing between 12 and 13 and puts them on the front foot. We've already mentioned that that isn't quite enough to earn you a score on the scoreboard. So brilliant execution to find the space, showing some composure to throw the right pass and finish it in the corner. A brilliant score, worth full 7. Can it be landed? He threw the pass, he's kicked the kick, and Northampton level the scores. Brilliant try from them, showing real class in this first half after a real tough start for them falling behind after the first passage of play. But one thing is for sure, in the schools championship, you can never write any team off. We've seen too many comebacks this year. My heart has been in my mouth on too many different occasions. So we have a real scrap on here, as it's Northampton's turn to exit, which they cannot do. A coach killer after scoring a try. Conceding a penalty is the last thing you want to do, let alone being unable to exit. And Whitgift now have their own opportunity to win back some field position. To the corner they go, no question of the 3 points. They're going after the 5. Oh my catch and drive. They've not only made themselves 10 metres of yardage, but also they've driven into the midfield. They've got a split pitch to work with here, but the forwards just say, let us do the work. Now it's the chance for the backs. Carrying short. The backs have got to offer a little bit more here, and that they do, but it's still the forwards coming around the corner. Whitgift backs have got to start offering a little bit more if they want to add a bit of deception, because Northampton are showing some good heart up front. But come around the corner they do. Bit more deception there. There we go. Oh, big defensive read from Northampton's number 12. He's really showing some physicality early on here. And they are starting to drive Whitgift back as fast as Whitgift were driving Northampton back from that catch and drive. Brilliant heart in defence to make a read like that. Not a bad option. Apply some pressure, but not quite the execution. Out on the full, unfortunately. Good defence from Northampton, as I believe we're coming back for a scrum. Referee just explaining that the advantage was kicked away. And Northampton are playing with such speed. That is a sign of an intelligent team who are ready to rock and roll, thinking 1 or 2 phases ahead. Brilliant work. Ooh, short kick in behind. And a lot of space there. And it's hacked ahead by the fullback. But Whitgift just managed to get back, but he's by himself back there. And the ball is in a cacophony of players. No way the Whitgift prop has made it all the way back. Brilliant work rate from them to get back behind the ball and support that blindside winger who was by himself for a large part of it. Whitgift showing hands to the edge, but we know how resilient this Northampton defence can be, and the blindside's latched onto that, and he's won it somehow. Typically, the referee must see a clear lift of the ball to award a penalty. The caveat to that is if the player is lying on top of the ball and trying to squeeze it back between their legs, also known as a squeeze ball, then you can almost just lift the player up with the ball and obviously show that they're not letting the ball go. And Northampton have the penalty they've gone to the corner with, and almost through maybe not design, find themselves 2 meters out. Never mind, over the whitewash they go. From an overthrown line out, which they were the first to react to. They catch from the back, carry, and this time the backs contribute and add a score of their own through the middle. You can see the slight contrast there between Whitgift and Northampton, where the backs look roaring and ready to go, and the Whitgift backs on that last attack in the opposition 22 didn't quite look like they were going to strike. And what that means is the defence can just narrow up, make their shots on the big forwards coming around the corner, the primary threat. And from that point on, it's just a matter of making your tackles. Northampton, on that occasion, though, offering players on every part of the pitch. And that's always going to be hard to defend when there's all that space to cover. And Northampton find themselves in a 7-point lead. Flipping the switch on Whitgift. Whitgift are with a few injuries today, might I add, having seen their team sheet come through. We've got 3 starting players. Juan Alessandro Parodi of the Italian under-18s squad is missing. Orlando Moore, open side winger, who's involved in Harlequin's setup, is also out injured. Big carries from these big lads from Northampton. And their first 15 captain, Alex Clapperton, is also out. So a tough ask for them. And this Northampton team are firing on all cylinders right now. The width in their attack, their ability to spread players across the park is at this stage second to none. Big shot again in midfield, just brilliant defence. Spreading the field, swimming through, now sliding. Whitgift making a carry, but not making the meters they need to start really putting pressure on Northampton. An alternative strategy, put the ball into the backfield and see what Northampton can do with it. A little chip giving behind, a bit of space there. Oh, collision in midfield, forces a knock on, and the field position for Northampton back in possession. Bounce pass picked up. And even in that contact area, in a neutral carry, they make meters. And what a line this is from out to in. Skips past 2 or 3 defenders. Isolated though, can they win the breakdown? They can. Number 12 sticks his hand up again to make another carry. And Whitgift just by the skin of their teeth hold on to the ball at the breakdown. And win themselves a relieving penalty. They can take a slight sigh of relief after an absolute barrage from Northampton, who've really started this game fast. It's the small things you can pick up about a team. The way that Northampton jog to a line out and are ready to go. Single man lifts at the front and the middle, only offering Whitgift the back, the pressure ball to throw, and challenging both. Whitgift do well to win that in the midfield, but it's just signs of a good team who show not only the work rate but the intelligence. But it's Whitgift's chance now. We've seen some signs from them that they can play with the ball. They just need a bit more of it. Well tackled in defence, but we'll come back for the penalty. A slight contrast you can see between the two attacks is the layers and depth in Northampton's attack. We can see stacked shape. So they have their forward pod ready to go, but they have a player out the back of that and then a second line of attack off that player. Typically the fly half who can connect either with that second forward pod or the player out the back. And when you do that, you threaten across the width of the pitch. Every space has to be defended, and either it's not and you find space in the wide channel, or there is space through the middle. Whereas Whitgift, on the other hand, are all standing a bit flat. There's not the multiple layers and opportunities to attack across the full field, allowing Northampton just to line their players up after 1 or 2 passes and make their tackles. So they've got to start layering some detail into this. And this is a good start. Ball at the back, long pass, bit of space on the outside, good carry. Oh, good line speed from Northampton. Meeting the player, receiving the pass. Not to bore you with rugby phrases this morning, but that's called winning the jump in rugby Nor's terminology. The jump is the space between the scrum half's pass and the first receiver. Whilst the ball is in the air, you know typically where it's going, and that gives you the chance to move forward as a defensive line. If you can win the jump, that essentially means as the scrum half passes the ball, you're flying off the line to meet the first receiver in the attack and therefore winning the jump. If you lose the jump, it means that the attacker has met you on the offside line. And as soon as you start doing that, you cause yourself the world of problems as they're on the front foot. Northampton there won the jump so much so that they were putting pressure on the pass itself rather than just the ball carrier. And as we saw, a knock-on came from it, and from defence comes another opportunity in attack for Northampton. Going to the middle and going to this catch and drive themselves as the number 8 joins late, as we've seen already so far today, adding an additional number, but Whitgift do well to stem the flow slightly, although Northampton march on. Ball's getting lost in there. Whitgift's hook has done very well, but illegally so, to come round the side, changing his bind and locking that ball in there illegally. So although it was unplayable, it was for illegal reasons. So Northampton find themselves with another catch and drive here to learn from their previous, although it was moving forwards. They go to the front, the safe ball. Whitgift get a good twist on it, but they hold their shape well. Rolling towards the sideline, but equally the try line is beckoning the ball at the back. Another penalty. 3 on the spin there for Whitgift. And of course, the referee has a word. Doesn't look like a warning just yet, but just a reminder that they've given 3 away now, all in the red zone. And this Northampton pack really are stamping their authority all over the Whitgift players. But it matters not if they can't find their way over the whitewash. Early peel off the front. Left the forwards behind, but it's the back's turn. We've seen them be lethal from this position. Big carry through 2 players. And the ball is dotted down. Another score for Northampton through the back line. What a game they're having. Well, if you can't go through them, then you've got to go around them, as the old tale says. And on that occasion, it was Cox crashing over. He had a strong, fast start to this game, really sticking his hand up to carry the ball and make his shots in defence, and he's finally got himself on the scoreboard as a reward of all of that. And Northampton extend their lead now to 2 scores, 14 points ahead in this one. The score is 21 points to 7. Not long left to go in this first half. Whitgift need to respond.
Go Whitgift!
Marshall, the skipper, to kick us off. Oh, sloppy. Not the exit you want to see as a coach after just scoring. But they just hold on to the ball, tip out the back, looking to throw the ball around with some intent here. but the pass drifts forwards. So that endeavour not rewarded on a second occasion for Northampton. They gave away a penalty at the last kickoff, and this time is arguably an even more dangerous scrum opportunity for Whitgift to show them a way back into this. The last thing the Northampton coaches want to see. Here's Whitgift responding. Batty puts this one in, but it's stripped from the number 8. Tonguia coming away with that one. And on top they play. The Whitgift players still retreating by the time that the Northampton boys are marching forwards. Freshwater, the vice-captain of Whitgift, just had the ball stripped from him, seemingly out of nowhere, by, I believe, the replacement block. Whitgift back on the attack.
Go on, Jake.
When you're offside.
No, on 10. On 10, on 10, no.
When you play offside. Space! Heads up, boys. Next score. Go. Up!
Northampton with a penalty close to the end of this first half. So the catch and drive they go. This time they choose to stick their heads down and stay in the maul, but after that, devastating and towards this first half conclusion for Whitgift. Northampton find another score to extend their lead, and it has been almost one-way traffic in this first half. Whitgift forced an error from Northampton right at the start of the game, potentially catching Northampton a little bit off guard, but regardless, the bounce of the rugby ball is unpredictable at the best of times. And they capitalised on it, but they haven't been able to capitalise on that opportunity and find themselves conceding 3 scores back-to-back to this immense Northampton team. The forward pack are physically dominating the Whitgift players, and the fly-off Shields, the captain, is putting them in the right places to capitalise on their strength. We'll have time for the line out. Off the top they play, into midfield, good tip at the line, and as Tongoia goes to the outside, holds onto the ball well, an intelligent play, don't need to force it at this point, plenty of opportunity, but the pass just drifts forwards. You can see the intent from this group of Northampton players. That's why they're topping the group, because their attack is so well organised. There's a spark of creativity within them once the opportunity presents itself to execute it, but it's the layers of organisation they have both sides of the ball that just makes it difficult for Whitgift to keep up this morning. Northampton find themselves 3 scores up on the scoreboard after Whitgift gave them an early fright right at the start of this game. But it is 26 points to 7 at the end of the first half. See you in the second. Welcome back after a short half time. Whitgift with a lot to do here in the second half, kicking off themselves from left to right in their blue and white against the blue and red hoops of Northampton, who came out in that first half a little bit caught unawares. It was a fast start from Whitgift to capitalise on one error from Northampton, but ever since that first moment it's been nothing but red and blue. And they find themselves 28 points to 7, the good on the scoreboard. All converted tries gives them the bonus point win. If it carries on like this, you can see the size of these Northampton players. It's always going to be a tough ask when the physicality is that tough from these big fellas. But in fairness, they've not just been bruising up front, but calculated out back, throwing together some beautiful shape. It's a delight to watch. And Whitgift have clinged on for dear life, but not quite enough. One thing that was working for them in the first half was their catch and drive on that occasion. Another piece of intelligent play from Northampton just to back off it. Truck and trailer is called obstruction, as there is no engagement from a Northampton player. Therefore, it's a flying wedge and a penalty. Well, a scrum, accidental obstruction on this occasion. To Northampton. Whitgift made a few changes at half-time, hoping that brings them about a bit more luck in this second half. But this Northampton machine just misfiring there from the base of the scrum. A slight knock on, the smallest, well picked up from the referee, in fairness. I thought he was going to let that play. Good vision. Possibly the first error that we've seen from the Northampton 8. Lewis just fumbling it on that occasion. Granting Whitgift their first opportunity back into this game. 2 minutes into the second half. Oh, bullet pass fired into the blindside wing. A difficult catch. And a penalty comes as a result from the offside of the knock-on. Tough stuff for Whitgift, as their first way into the game goes against them. Campbell to throw this one in. He's done well in the lineup so far. That wasn't the straightest thing I've ever seen in my life. But no competition from Whitgift, and the referee lets the boys play, which we love to see. But what the Whitgift players hate to see is their catch and drive going backwards. A show and a go, and straight through the middle from the captain, Shields, who finds his inside centre. Smith just knocks the ball on the floor. It was Cox scything through the middle after Shields, the captain, made the break from fly half. There's so much threat from Northampton across the field. You can't blame them for flying up on the inside and forgetting the player who's in current possession of the ball. And that they did. And through the middle went Shields. A little show and off he went. But just lacking the slightest bit of composure, which may come to punish them later in the season. But they're creating so many opportunities for themselves. It doesn't really necessarily matter. Whitgift just boot this one down the park and find a brilliant touch. The drizzle starting to make this game a little bit more difficult for both teams. We've seen the grass start to cut up a little bit here in Northampton, but hasn't dampened Northampton's spirits. They go to the middle, just missed the slap back at the front, did Whitgift. Almost stole that one. But Northampton go to the cowsheds and start to rumble forwards. Just dismantling this Whitgift defensive drive. But who is that who's come through the middle? It's the hooker, Overend, who's done well to disturb the ball, but they still get the ball away, keep the ball alive. Brilliant looping run from the blindside wing. Smith, tip pass, the big man Lee trundles forwards. Good little shoulder ball to Cooper, finds him on the front foot. Lewis really keeping the tempo here, and a knockdown from the Whitgift player. A lot of penalties they're giving away in this 22, and that's another one there to add to it. Good offload from Chin to find, is that the hooker? Campbell? Can't quite see the number on his back, but he's got the score under the posts. Real tempo brought by Chin. Not only from the tap and go, the most obvious example, but from the breakdown. Just playing the ball to the first man inside. That's the most impressive thing about this Northampton team. It comes in two forms. First, their understanding of shape. Understanding their roles and responsibilities within it. And then thinking a phase ahead. Rugby, as much as it's about physicality, is also about speed. Not only physically, but also mentally. To find yourself in the right position ahead of the defence being able to reset and tackle you. And on that occasion, it's led to a full 7 points for Northampton. The shape is one thing, but their speed to execute and their handling under pressure is another. The combination of this structure, but with this free-flowing offloading, all backed by an undertone of physicality from the forwards up front, is resulting in 5 converted tries for them against the single converted try for Whitgift, who have a tough challenge. Although they may be coming down the hill in the second half, they have an uphill battle against this formidable Northampton team, this sizable Northampton team. These lads are humongous. I can't quite believe how big these 18-year-olds are getting nowadays. Even in the Whitgift side, big throw to the back, and Whitgift go to what's been working for them all day. The catch and drive has been forcing Northampton back, but they come over the top, surely swimming through the maul. Oh, a little bit of indecisiveness from the fly, but still makes his way forward. Slightly isolated. And Northampton have turned it over. You hate to see it for Whitgift. Slight change in decision from Northampton to go across field. Who's going to pick this up? Oh, here we go. A bit of free-flowing rugby on the way. Ball fired back inside, though. A little bit more sympathy needed on that pass. But regardless, a good exit. Deny Whitgift a set piece to attack from. And find themselves back on their own 10. Bit of shape here from Whitgift, but no real connection into that wide channel. You look outside, that man who just carried the ball in, and there was not much being offered. But now there's a bit of space. Good flat pass to the outside channel. But well tackled by the closing fly half. Shields has put himself around today. Even when you think there's a bit of space, Northampton find a way to snuff it out. Denying Whitgift a sniff back into this game. It's ruthless, it's relentless from Northampton. Ever since that first score, their defence has been watertight. Even within that first score, in fairness, it came from almost an accidental error in their own backfield that Whitgift capitalised in the first minute. But ever since then, it's been one-way traffic. And they have another chance here. I'm excited to see what they do from this set piece. Long pass to 12. Plays the ball out to the fly half. Good read from the defensive scrum half to get all the way across and disrupt that one. We see it a lot nowadays. First and foremost, the ball from 9 to 12. Accessing a slightly wider channel, allowing hopefully an extra number to create it as the fly half loops around. But since that was so devastating for the likes of Gloucester and Bristol in the Premiership, a little lesson has been learnt. Started with Saracens when Ben Spencer was back there in the day. What he used to do was just run straight from scrum half and follow the fly half who would typically receive the ball out the back of the number 12 and just get in the way. And that's what we saw the Whitgift player do there. Jack Harper did very well to disrupt it. But regardless, we come back for a Northampton scrum. And another knock on. Conditions proving slightly difficult for both teams, although those errors arguably are somewhat forced. Another error in these slightly more difficult conditions as the day goes on gives Whitgift another chance. Blindside wing steps up at first receiver. This time holds on to the ball. Oh, bit of shape from Whitgift finally. Bit more decisiveness in their attack, but now resorting back to a little bit of misdirection. Short pass from the scrum half. Not only is he tipped on his head, but the pass went forward beforehand. And Northampton just contain the Whitgift attack. Great to see Abington offering something from fullback. Not only in the wide channels, but through the midfield, but on that occasion, potentially not the best option for Whitgift, but then again, I don't know what was really being offered outside of him at that point. So you've got to do what you can with what you're given. And a good pass is given to the outside. for Northampton. A bit of momentum, but another penalty. This time going the way of Whitgift. The conditions slightly killing the flow of play in this second half. Both teams just need to try and find a foothold. Whitgift with the ball. Run a loop around the 12, but well read by the forwards left in the back line from that line out. Good decision. Good execution from Whitgift, parking Northampton back on their own line, but not quite finishing the first up tackle. Lets Northampton ease their way out of their own 5-metre line and all the way up to the 22. And they're looking to play. Short kicking behind. Tonguia picks it up. He's been everywhere so far today. Just slips on the way down into that tackle. But showing real endeavour here are Northampton as they're looking to play their way from their own 5-metre line. Oh, just dropping the ball, but a good kick downfield. The fly off from Whitgift. Marshall contests the call, claiming it was out on the full, but no such thing, as Northampton march their way down the field. It must have been touched by Marshall on the way out too. That's double whammy. But a falcon comes into the chest of Shields as Overend, who's played well for Whitgift today, just boots the ball off the back of that line out. You could sense an air of frustration within him. You can see the conditions playing their effect on this one as both teams start to get slightly more caked in mud. Questions at offside from the back of that scrum, but Mr. Sir lets the boys play. Another brilliant bit of line speed from Northampton. They've got a double up here though. Good carry again from Overend. Just stays alive in the contact enough, but being slowed down by the Northampton defence. Just not quite tying things together today, are Whitgift. We know their reputation. We know how good they can be. But today it's just missing something, that degree of connectivity between players. And you don't have to ask Northampton twice for an opportunity like this. Another scrum set piece for them into the fly half. Short shoulder ball pass to the blindside wing, finds a bit of space, beats two defenders in the process. Finally brought down by the backfield coverage of Whitgift. An interesting chip kick to himself by Chin. Oh, great shape. A lot of space out here. Got to execute. Can they give the drawing pass? Not well enough. Oh, hair will be pulled out by the Northampton coaches after doing so well to create that opportunity. We saw another brilliant double stacked unders and overs. We saw it in the first half. The outside centre runs a short line in towards the fly half, and you have two players, where there's usually just one, running underneath him and in between the 12 and 13 of the defence. Created the line break. Bit of quick ball gave them the space on the edge, but perhaps a bit complacent just to flatten up on the outside and not execute the try in the corner. They'll be frustrated, but they've given themselves another chance. It's the number 8. It's the big man, Lewis, getting over that. Someone check his birth certificate. That bloke is huge. The whole entire pack is just ginormous from Northampton. They're really on the front foot, but the handling just lets them down. You can see the frustration starting to boil over a little bit from both teams. But Northampton won't be disappointed with where they are on the field right now. I mean, they are parked. They've got the camping trailer in the Whitgift 22. But that's not a bad way to exit from Freshwater, the vice-captain. Also involved in the Schools Championship 15 squad. The invitational team on their way to Abu Dhabi in a couple weeks' time to compete in the World Schools Festival. Super exciting. A combination team of the best players in the Schools Championship taking on the best schools teams in the world. Play teams from all over the place, from New Zealand, South Africa, Fiji, all taking on each other to take home the biggest prize in schoolboy rugby, an international tournament like no other. Make sure you're following us at the Schools Championship on Instagram to keep up to date with everything that's going on there, because it's something that we potentially have never seen before. And a few of these lads out there today will be involved in that team. But first things first, we've got to wrap up Pool B. Bit of cramp in the hammy of Zayan Ali. Just holds up play and invites a few Northampton changes onto the field. Off goes the scrum half Chin, who has been the heartbeat of their attack so far today. Arguably, potentially going unnoticed a little bit to the blind eye, because he's just been keeping them ticking over. Not necessarily setting the world alight with what he does, but setting everyone else off to the races in their attack, that's for sure. Brilliant kick from the captain. Shields puts Whitgift back deep in their own half again, forced to do the boring things well, such as exiting from their own half. And on this occasion they can't. Handing Northampton not only the territory but also the possession in the process. It's been a tough day for Whitgift, and it doesn't look to be slowing itself off as number 18 Raps also joins this. Just fresh legs on the field is not going to help. Whitgift's case. Ball comes out to the big man, number 12. Ball at the back. Brilliant defence again from the replacement scrum half, interfering with Northampton's flow. And they'll be frustrated here to not tie a few phases together. They have the ability, but they just haven't been able to really get past 3 phases well enough today. We've seen how lethal they can be when they do. But today, just spanners being thrown in the works. Whitgift here have to find another way out of their own 22. Oh, well read by Tongoya. Penalty. Almost, for want of a better word, an air of boredom from Northampton here, just trying to force their way to find themselves on the ball, try and win a turnover at the breakdown. I think they're bored of watching Whitgift exit from their own 22 after they put so much pressure on. But Whitgift, in fairness, execute their exits well enough to prevent Northampton from really doubling down on the pressure they put on. It's such a common thing in rugby on not doubling down on errors and doubling down on good things. Northampton are doing the one thing well, usually, sometimes even 2 things well. Good kick, great chase, but they just can't land that right hook to finish people off. They've got the double jab, but not the killer blow so far in this second half. But still find themselves 5 tries to 1 up on the scoreboard, so you can't blame them for a degree of complacency. But that's not what the coaches will want to be seeing from the sidelines. Not straight at that line out, as we see a couple errors start to creep into this one. Not long left to go, no more than 10 minutes left on the clock. Off the back of the scrum, straight into midfield, a shoulder ball hidden well, but the pass not quite going to hand. Gives Whitgift a chance down this open side, but another knock on. Gives possession straight back to Northampton. It's almost like a game of tennis, this one, with the possession changing hands so much. The safest way of moving forward, though, in such wet conditions is without any passes at the catch and drive. Although Whitgift have done very well to get themselves all the way through the middle of that maul. Questions of swimming, but they come back with the ball regardless. Winger comes off his wing again. Whitgift love throwing him in at first receiver. Gives him a few good yards. And now they're starting to throw a few phases together. Oh, brilliant dummy through the middle. Good bit of footwork. Can he find a pass to finish? Not quite. Holds on to possession. And almost holds onto the ball on the ground as Northampton look to be over it. Brilliant hands to the corner. And just as Northampton started, Whitgift finish in that right-hand corner. Brilliant play from Marshall, the fly half. Dummies his way through the defence. And does well to just keep his composure, keep his head, as all these pictures fly past your eyes. Pass here, kick there, step this defender, but he just sticks his head down. Holds onto the ball. Looked a little bit like he was holding onto it on the floor, but Mr. Sir lets the boys play, as we love to see. And it was the second rower, Marcus Garside, who showed the deft hands to put the open side wing, Daniel Evans, into the corner. Tough kick, good strike, but just fades across the face. Oh, my apologies. Spotted by the sounds of the crowd. Puts Whitgift back into this. Not long left, but showing that they do have the capabilities to score tries. They just haven't been able to break down the defence today as much as they'd want to. As the scrum half Chin rejoins us. As we come towards the end of this game. Both teams have struggled with the error count, both forced and unforced. But we have seen some good running rugby. As always, the evolution of the game, especially at this young age grade where we're seeing such structure in both defence and attack, but still with that same spark of youth and creativity to tie things together. It's great to see in the schools championship. The best example of it. And Whitgift really not going down without a fight here. Looking to the danger man, the fly half, plays the ball back inside, finds a bit of space. That's Green. Crashing through midfield. Big cutout pass, well held by Williams Everett on the left-hand side. Scrum sneaks down the short side, only to be met by two bulldozing second rows. Goodness gracious, you do not want to go down that alleyway. All you're going to find is the touchline and a world of pain. As we can see, Batty just trying to shake that one off. Jack Harper snuck down the short side, only to be met by Higgins and Williams. Referee has a word. A bit of frustration from both sides. Sam Marshall, the captain of Whitgift, has been the spark for this Whitgift team in the back end of this second half. But is it enough? Is it too little too late for them to find a way back into this one? As Northampton just go through their processes. The scrum half, Chin, is back on the field, this time at fly half. But on this occasion, not quite executing from the boot. Putting that one out on the full. It was Marshall, Whitgift's captain, who breathed some fresh air into this game. But is it enough to get them back into it on the scoreboard? Shift drive. Bit of creativity from the catch and drive of Whitgift. And that's something that's been reliable for them all day. They are marching Northampton back. Peel off the front though, goes Marks. Finds Stevens. Good leg drive in the carry. Looks like he's slightly held up. I see a knee to ground, and so does the referee. So must release. Oh, cut out pass, but to the wrong player. Only runs into the big man, Lee, off the bench. Finds himself on the wrong side here, though. But into touch. That must have just been a bootlace on the sideline. As you can sense the frustration from Whitgift creeping into this one. They've come so close in the back end of this second half on a couple of occasions. And now they find themselves parked in the Northampton 5-metre line, but we know how reliable the Northampton exit can be. They go to the front this time, risky play, but they find their way back up the sideline, arguably to where the kick would have gone out anyway. So we'll call it a good exit. I love seeing a bit of creativity up the sideline. Playing with such confidence, Northampton. You just see they all just seem to know their jobs, just know their roles and their responsibilities within those. Oh, but they shift down the front edge and crash their way over Whitgift, giving Northampton a taste of their own medicine. And they could be back within a couple scores here. Leaving it late on in this one, but a lovely little front peel shift. Pass back to the hooker, back inside to the peeling second row. Crashes his way over. It looked to be like Joshua Norrie finding his way over the whitewash. As I mentioned just a minute ago with Northampton, you love to see a bit of creativity, especially in the forwards from set piece. Those things rarely come off, but on this occasion, not only did it come off, but it came up with 5 points on the scoreboard. Make that 7. Brilliant displays from the boots of both kickers today here in Northampton. 100% for both of them. And that 100%, you'd have to say, is what's kept Whitgift at an arm's length away from Northampton. Without those kicks from Northampton, it'd be a one-score game. But the fly half Shields, the captain, has just kept the points ticking over, meaning that Whitgift still have a slightly longer way back into this one. Clock should be into the red by now. We're on the referee's time. But neither team's quitting early on this. To the front, but a slight knock on the floor gives Northampton the ball back. A solid team performance from Northampton. I'm trying to pick out some individual names that have done well. The fly half, Shields, has steered the ship. The big man at number 8, Lewis, carried hard alongside his back row counterparts of Williams and Hepner. But overall, a great team performance from 1 through 19 for Northampton. Finds themselves at the top of Pool B in the school championship after a valiant victory. 35 points to 21 over Whitgift, who gave them a bit of a shock inside the first couple minutes of this game here in Northampton. But after that surprise, it was all Northampton. As the rain came tumbling in, so did the points for those fellas, showing real good brand of rugby. Structure in both defence and attack, combined with a bit of spark to put some big defensive hits in, as well as some killer passes. Whitgift will be disappointed, but after the injuries they've had so far this season, they can hold their heads high in that last game, coming against, as you can see from the lads walking through the tunnel, a physically humongous Northampton team. They are the victors here today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the journey we've been on in this one. My name's Ollie Johnson. You can find me on Instagram at OJ Rugby for all of the comms coming your way in this schools championship. Any shout outs along the way, please feel free to drop them in. Otherwise, I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your rainy weekend. Hopefully the weather cheers up for us all. But otherwise, I look forward to speaking to you next time. Thank you.